So when I started pumping for the first time, I had no clue that flange sizing was even a thing. To be honest, I barely understood the basics of a breast pump, and I don't think I'm alone here, but thankfully there is so much more information available now that we can learn and share together, especially for moms who are trying to combine breastfeeding and pumping together. It's challenging. So today let's look at maybe 6 or so top questions or concerns I get about flange sizing and help us better understand why this is important. Let's cover the very basics first. What does flange sizing mean? What's a flange size? Okay, so this is a breast shield. Okay, you can kind of see it against my white wall. It's also called a flange, right? The flange size is the diameter of this opening. Okay, it has nothing to do with the size or shape of this outer part. It's just the diameter of this hole. Okay, and these come in different sizes. This one, comes off the pump. This one's all attached. It doesn't really matter. So when we're talking about flange sizing, we're looking at the diameter of this opening compared to the diameter of your nipple, okay? Now, I know that can be a little bit confusing because on this breast right here, it's pretty easy to see where the nipple starts and then it meets the areola. But if you have a nipple maybe that looks something like this, it's a little bit harder to tell where that nipple ends and starts and how to fit it in a flange. So it can get a little bit tricky when we start measuring, but we'll talk about a little bit about more of that in a second. So the next question is, do bigger breasts require bigger flange sizes? So knowing what I just told you, what do you think? The answer is no. The only thing that matters is the nipple size, okay? It does not matter if your areola is tiny or big or your breasts are large. I have seen almost every combination of breast and nipple, I think. I shouldn't say that. I always learn new things and get surprised here, but I've seen very tiny nipples on very large breasts. I've seen very large nipples on really tiny breasts. Small areolas, large areolas, it doesn't really matter to us, okay? What we're talking about right now is just the size of the nipple, okay? So if you're thinking, well, my bra size is a double D and I'm really proud of that, it does not compare to like A cup double D. If you have like that nice, perfect breast size, it's like awesome, right? We don't care what your nipple size is, okay? If you are a 10, 13, 17, 20, 30, 36 size nipple, it doesn't matter. We're going to find the right flange size for you, okay? So why is flange sizing so important, okay? There's 2 reasons, really. One is comfort, and the second one is milk output, okay? So pumping should never be uncomfortable. I'm going to say that again. Pumping should not be uncomfortable. The most common reason that I see moms when they come to me with some pumping discomfort is we need to really nail down that flange size. Once we find that perfect flange size, they're like, whoa, I didn't know it could feel like this. And I love to hear that. And then there's the second reason this is important, because we don't want to cause any damage to the nipple. So if your nipple is big and you're using a flange size that is too small, your nipple is rubbing and pushing and pulling on the inside of the tunnel. It's going to cause pain and it's going to cause damage, okay? We can also see damage though if you're using a flange size that is too small. If the nipple and the areola are getting pulled really far in and there's just no support for the nipple, it's just like hanging out in there, it's being stretched and pulled, and so is the areola that's going really far in. This can also cause damage and cracks and bleeding, and we don't want to see that. So getting the right flange size is a really important part of pumping, okay? So then here's another complaint that I sometimes get. I can get milk out with the flanges that came with the pumps. And if you're using suction to get milk out of the breast, you can probably get some milk out. I will tell you that. But we can see a clear difference at the amount of milk out, how quickly you can get it out, and the comfort that you experience pumping when you have the right flange size. So you may be getting some milk out, and you probably are, but you will be surprised at how much faster and easier you can get more milk out with the right flange size. Just remember, you may also not know how much more milk is available to you until you actually try it out. So I see this pretty often with members in my program where they're like, I'm getting okay milk output, it's fine. And then we really get their perfect flange size and they're like, okay, now I'm getting a lot of milk and this is way better. So don't make that mistake of just saying like, milk's coming out, it's fine. Get the right size. It's really important. And you might not even realize it is until you fix it. All right, just trust me on that. Another common question I get is about elastic nipples. So what even is elastic nipples? Okay, we all have elasticity in our skin. And if you have a little bit extra, then your nipple can stretch really far. And it can cause a little bit of, some weird stuff when we're pumping. If you have elastic nipples, your nipple can just stretch really far, okay? Now, your breast and your skin is designed to stretch far, okay? To stretch. This is how it's supposed to work. But if it's stretching really far and you're absolutely sure that you have the right flange size and it's still going really far and hitting the back of the tunnel, you might have elastic nipples, okay? The tunnels are designed based on just the average and then a little bit extra length of stretch in the nipple. So another common problem that I see regarding this is someone will say, I have elastic nipples. They're pulling all the way back in. And then I take a look and actually they're just using a size that is way too big. Okay. Elastic nipples are a thing, but way more moms think that they have them than they actually do. They're just using a huge flange and it's pulling in a lot of the areola and the nipple, and that stretches farther. So we have to be a little bit careful when we're talking about elastic nipples. Make sure that that's actually the problem and that you do in fact have the correct flange size, and then we can address some of those other things regarding elastic nipples. If you want to talk more about elastic nipples, you can let me know in the comments down below and we'll do a whole separate video on that because there's a lot to know there. So if that's some information you want to know, just leave a comment so that I know. So how do you know if you have the right flange fit for you? All right. How can we know? First of all, you have a couple options. The first thing I would do would be to do a quick measure. So you can find some little measuring tools like this. This one's from Legendary Milk. There's also an inexpensive one on Amazon. You can also just use a regular tape measure, whatever you want. I've even seen one where they used coins, like a size of a quarter was typically this size and a size of a dime was this size. And so you can just kind of guesstimate. The better the measurement you get, that's where you kind of start and you go from there. And then the second way to kind of figure out is just a little bit of trial and error, okay? You just need to try some different sizes, all right? We usually like to see you go as small as possible. I know there's a lot of different recommendations out there based on like measure your nipple and then add 3 to 4 millimeters. And I find that can usually lead to phalanges that are too big, but you won't know unless you try. So give it a shot. See if it's more comfortable. See if you get more milk. You can get little inserts to help you with sizing to figure that out, or you can get brand new phalanges. Usually the harder phalanges tend to work a little bit better, but the inserts can be great. Some moms have no trouble with them, and it can be an inexpensive way to try some different sizes. So give it a shot. You can also be 2 different sizes on each breast. So don't be alarmed if you measure one and it's a different number than the other. Just go from there. This is also super normal. If you're looking for a step-by-step process on all things pumping, from the beginning to the end, and some support going through that, that's exactly what I do in my Working Moms program. So if that's interesting to you, let me know and I'd love to chat with you. I love helping moms get a calm confidence that they can do this and they have everything they need to do it. So if that's something that you're looking for, come and talk to me. We're going to do more videos on flange sizing, okay? So you can watch the next video right up here, but leave me a comment and tell me what you want to know. What other questions do you have? I'm going to be filming some more videos right after this on flange sizing, so stick around and we'll see you next time.